Hey everybody, good morning. How you doing today? What's on your mind? No, I'm kidding. Maybe not. You coming over here drifting and hanging out with me? Maybe is it a break in the day that you need? You're chilling out, listening to some new music, or your favorite band, Vola. It's been since 2021 since I've done a track from Vola. And the one I'm going to be doing, this was from Patreon, of which I'm so grateful. I have my Patreon members helping me executive produce the Decomposer Lounge. Not only am I going to be doing a Patreon suggestion, which is called Smartfriend by Vola, but on Thursday I'm releasing, a little late out of the gates on this because I had a kind of crazy couple weeks, but I'm going to be releasing a slow burn on Loathe and a custom Patreon for Patreon members. So this week is going to be very Patreon oriented. But I want to thank you guys too for leaving all your comments on that one video where it says, hey, leave your suggestions here, because so much easier to choose tracks as well. So anyhow, as well, you know where the links are for all of that are down below. Link for that place where you can leave your suggestions, buy a cup of coffee, check out the headsets, check into my Twitch, see what I'm doing over there, or all down below. All right, guys, let's do this. This is from the band Vola, and the name of the track is Smartfriend. All right.
I've earned a pre-preparation of a future when we get home. I was not sufficient with a lot of television and resilient but retrograding skin. Sure, I'm excited to be happily invited, though wire has been on like a mole. This is not the lie I had expected to apply when I was striking my deformity down the hole.
Wow. This was really a twist for me because I couldn't remember what Vola was about, and I'll be damned if after two tracks I think I could, because when I was getting ready to do this on Spotify, I noticed they had kind of a thick discography. I love that gnawing, gritty opening of the synth work in there. The drum EQ is really very unique on this. It almost starts to push that, like, I don't know how to say this, an overall affected kind of vibe. At some point I thought, is that a loop or something? But I mean, it's not. Don't worry, don't come for me. The rhythm, of course, is really catchy and really edgy and stuff like that. But here's a couple of things that I love. Really not throaty, dark, bombastic-y kind of guitar tone on this. And I don't know if that's what the bass player is doing to his bass during the chugging or the darker rhythmic part of the track, but it's just such a rattly, dark, gritty sound. Now in the verse, obviously it's drums and some synth work that's going on there, very unique rhythmic pattern going on. But what's really cool about that is that the vocalist's arrangement performance keeps you in the pocket, not any one of the instruments. Usually I look for an instrument or something to keep me, locked in. I mean, it's an inherent thing to find the one for me. But excuse me, when I'm doing these, I look for some kind of indication from one of the musicians on where that might be. And actually where that's coming in is from the vocalist. When you go back and listen to the first two, I guess, verse sections, because they just hit us with a hook like a minute and 40 some odd, no, a minute 30 into it. So they really let us kind of sit and rinse in that opening and get us into that grind. The hook is really, what am I say? What's the term I should use for that? It's powerful. It's bold. I love the ambience, ethereal vibe they've got going behind it, and I like the low-loaded integration of a little bit of that synth. I don't know if it's not quite an arpeggiation, but a little melodic thing happening behind these soaring vocals and these just really ballsy crunch chords. But yeah. I want to listen to that again. That integration between that guitar and a synth darkness that's happening on the bottom is super badass. But the drummer's absolutely killing it. It's not that he's doing these fills that are, gnarly in speed and arrangement as much as it is. I just love how drummers today use their cymbals. It's just, to me, I just got through saying it yesterday on that drum cam that I did from Earthside. It's just, for me, coming from a, snare, tom, kick, two cymbals, hi-hat, era in my life, and I learned to play drums in the 70s, to seeing what it is these drummers are being able to pull off. But not all of them have like a kit that looks absolutely mental. Sometimes the same exact setup that I have, drummers are just so freaking talented that they can make it, come alive. But let's go back a little bit. I want to listen to that one section again. You guys know how I feel and how much I love when producers, those in the studio, make that decision sometimes to strip it down to the bare minimum so it can kind of give us a peek under the hood of what's happening in arrangements. Remember my first stop I talked about in the hook, how I love that secondary melodic, whether it was an arpeggiation or an answer back melody to these vocals. When it brought it back down after that, like it was almost like 16 bars of just like Imagine Dragon rhythm, switch ups that I just love. I'm done counting and trying to figure out stuff. I have more fun reacting. Just if I just sit there and just kind of glow it and just go, what are these guys thinking? That is sick. Anyhow, so it brought us back down into the section where you just heard that little arpeggiation, kind of more of not a moogie sound, moog synth, but just kind of this kind of null, dull, kind of polyphonic, and I was going, oh, this is nice. This is like, hitting that peak of the come on, and then kind of giving us a little bit of a, and then they come right back with the hook, and then it dawned on me. I said, oh my God, that's the same exact, that's the arpeggiation that they use, except when the darkness came in for the hook, as far as the as far as the guitar and the bass, and some low, it sounds like some really low, dark, stacked synth sound that's following the chugging or the riff. It changed. So that nice sound was when it was all by itself. But when it came in with the rest of the instrument, or when the rest of the instrumentation came in, it sounded like that sound got a little more gritty and more aggressive. But it still kept a really super cool essence of ambiance behind it. Give you that ethereal drift. And it was a great long stretched out these like whole notes, or not of course of the chugs, but of what the vocals are doing. And then at the very end, when he turns it to 11 with his voice and gets into that dark growling heaviness part of the performance, I thought was, God, I love it. I love it when vocalists do that. I got zero problem with the screaming, the growling aspects of it, but a lot of times what really makes it work for me and more impactful for me is when artists, musicians, singers use that in flares. I know that there's bands, it's all it is. It's just growling all the way through. That's great, and it matches the intensity of their compositions. But I tend to kind of lean into a little more that kind of, these kind of performances where there's, clean vocals and then darker heaviness and stuff like that. And that's not to take away from the bands, anything that I've, almost 800 videos I've done, and a good percentage of them are the growling, screaming performances in the background. But like I said, those match the guttural performance, visceral performance of the music, like a Meshuggah and bands like that, So, anyhow, thanks for hanging out. What's today? What is today? You're starting off your week okay if you can't remember what day it is, and you kind of keep in the distance. Well, I know the weekend's somewhere around the corner, but anyhow, Tuesday. So have a nice day today. I know for the rest of the world, look, I rolled out of bed way late. It's 9 o'clock. I got up a half hour ago. I love being old. I can just I'm sleeping in. No, but you know what? I went to bed last night at 2:30, so I guess I'm not being a lech. Okay, I'm talking too much. You guys have a killer day. Thank you for your support. All the links are down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you later.
All right.